Hello everyone, I'm Julie Moon, Senior Research Analyst with Finovate. With deepfakes and digital identities and AI agents now, how confident are you that your bank is keeping customer identities secure? Well, in my conversation today, I'll be talking with Mark Clancy, SVP of Cybersecurity at T-Mobile, about how consumer trust in financial services has evolved over the past decade and what is driving those changes. Mark, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
So let's kick things off. How do you see that trust has evolved over the past decade, especially in financial services?
We've had to add a ton of friction in financial services to prevent fraudsters from stealing your money. I just remember a few weeks ago I was trying to make a wire transfer to something that I knew about, and just how many hoops I had to jump through to actually get that money to the payee I wanted to go to.
Yeah, that is frustrating. And what do you see, I mean, that's a definite pain point, but what do you see as the biggest pain points today in the authentication process for both businesses and consumers?
It's just really inconvenient, right? There's a lot of steps you have to go through. You get the text on your phone, you type in the thing, you got to remember the password or pull it out of your password wallet, and then do it again and again, each step in the transaction flow. And that makes it very inconvenient and quite easy to actually be intercepted by others, and social engineering getting in the way of that flow.
Yeah, so all of that built-in friction just kind of adds more points of contact for fraudsters, potential
Correct.
fraudsters. Interesting. So tell us about this network-based authentication and how it differs from these other authentication methods that you've mentioned.
So network authentication, or what we call T-Secure, is simply embedding the authentication process using the SIM card that's already on your phone. We have 130 million customers, we already know who they are. And we just use that to bind the transaction they're doing to their identity, and behind the scenes invisibly authenticate using certificate-based authentication.
Ah, interesting, okay. And what is your recommendation to banks, especially smaller financial institutions, smaller banks, that are overwhelmed right now with all these security efforts?
You have to look at the whole end-to-end flow and how it works for your customer, and make the customer the hero of that transaction and make it so it works for them. And doing things like SIM-based authentication with T-Secure just makes that happen under the covers and not something a person has to overtly do. It just happens as part of the flow.
Interesting. All right, well, we have time for one last question here. A lot of customers right now, they're skeptical of new authentication methods and technologies. How do you balance making the authentication process invisible while still assuring users that their data and identity are being protected?
Well, like everything in security, it's multi-layer. So T-SIM Secure, as we add that base authentication, other methods like biometrics and passkeys can be added on top. So you can have that whole flow. For low-value transactions, maybe checking a balance, you can use just this T-Secure. And for high-value transactions like my wire transfer example, maybe you require to uplift to a passkey or something like that.
Ah, very good. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be one size fits all necessarily.
Correct.
Great. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. This was really interesting.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you as well.